Morning, everybody. Oh, it's cold out. Well, not really cold. It's wet, which kind of makes me cold. I don't do well with wet weather. No, it's just dreary out this morning. Yesterday was so sunny and so nice, and just so beautiful outside. And then today's just dreary, overcast. You feel like I moved back to Seattle weather. But here we are, getting the day started. I obviously need more coffee because I'm not quite awake yet. Morning, Addison. Morning, Steve. Morning, Nick. Carl. Yeah, so making my coffee in traditional conscious coffee style. Making my coffee, going, okay, God, what am I going to talk about today? And I had 1,000,001 topics prior to that come up for me. Morning, Muhammad. 1,000,001 topics come up for me, and I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about this. Oh, I'm going to talk about that. Boom, boom, boom. Had some good conversation this morning. Had some good sex this morning. Had a good connection. Just a really great start to the day. And so it really got me thinking about all this different stuff. And then I went and made my coffee. I was like, so what am I talking about? And what I've come up with is sex, intimacy, and saying yes to yourself. Hey, morning, David. So, you might think that this is going to go one direction about the sex and intimacy. What do we typically do? We say intimacy. We use the word intimacy to express sex even. And, saying yes, well, saying yes is, what am I talking about saying yes? Here's what I actually am going to go and talk about. It's all those, but it's the saying yes part that's the big deal here. We hold ourselves back, and this is like little moment capture from a conversation from this morning, and it's about play. It's about enjoyment. It's about saying yes to life, yes to yourself, instead of always just holding yourself back. And, I say this so often, I'm guilty of it myself quite frequently, far more than what I ever want to be guilty of it. But it is just our human nature in today's society to try to maintain a way of being, a presence, a persona, that play is wrong, play's immature, just being lighthearted, enjoying life. A conversation this morning was actually about my 13-year-old son, and he is very, very creative and very, expressive and vocally about things, but he's not necessarily the person that wants to go and play, like go do things. His older brother at his age was building tree houses and doing all these different things. I hardly even saw my older son at 12, 13 years old because he was just go. And he was experiencing life. He was risking, getting hurt. He was exploring. He would disappear for hours. And this is, probably, I guess it was 6-7 years ago. And technology has come a long way in the last 6 or 7 years. Number one, a lot of people couldn't afford phones back then and everything. I was definitely in a different position back then in my life. I don't even think he had a phone at 12 or 13. And if he did, it didn't mean squat to him. He left it behind wherever. But he was always going and exploring and risking, but he was experiencing. And then fast forward to his little brother now, who's all up in here, but not going and doing and experiencing as much. So he's a much more of a thinker. Well, if you look at the influence of the world with that, my older son had the influence of go, do, explore. We had recently moved to Texas from California back then. He grew up in Northern California up to that point, in Seattle, with lots of outdoor time. I'm a big outdoor person, so there was a lot of camping, a lot of hiking, Grandpa was always going, like teaching him how to shoot, fishing, knife throwing, hiking, and just experiencing up in the Sierra Nevadas, not city life at all. 13-year-old son of today has experienced more city life, living. And there's just not as much space for him to go do, explore, and create like that, to experience life. Drastically different people is they are drastically different people to begin with, but they both have this desire to go explore, to experience. One took the opportunities to go do it. Another kind of has the opportunities not even available to him in different ways, but has also been trained that you just don't do that stuff. You sit, you think, you write, you are on the phone, you do this, you do that, right? Where am I going with this? How does this relate to our sex, to our intimacy, to saying yes? Us adults, we do this ourselves. Except here's the funny thing. We're not kids who need permission or don't really understand, oh, don't go over there, you can go over there. We have certain things from our life experience at our fingertips, certain understandings. We have more freedom. We have more capability of really truly experiencing life in all these different ways. Yet, as adults, the majority still choose to do the whole get up in the morning, eat, do this, do that, go to work, come home, garage door open, garage door closed, pull in, safety zone, don't talk to your neighbors, don't take off and go do anything, don't experience what's going on around you, and inside your own house, keep everything like this. You have your little routine. What do you do after work? Come home, change clothes maybe, grab a drink, eat some food, watch some TV, maybe take a shower, fall asleep, get up, do it all over again. There's no expression of newness. There's no expression of life going on. There's no play. There's no real true experiencing. And you could be like, yeah, but I do that Friday after 5 o'clock or on the weekends, on holidays, on my vacation time. Then I experience. Well, I'm going to call bullshit for the majority of people on that, because from what I can see and what I've experienced from clients and different people and just being out and about, the majority of people still are not going and really living and experiencing. And if they do, they're on their phone while they're doing it. They're experiencing from that level. They're not really, truly in the moment. To the point that there are extreme levels of this where some people cannot even sexually connect without looking at their phone. Without looking at their phone. Is that not sad? And if that's you, I'm sorry, but it's sad. It's sad if you've got to be staring at your phone to look at pictures or to watch porn or to, be able to connect in this fashion or form. You're not present. You're not there. You're not really interacting with self or other that is going on. There is no real true experience of your sexing going on in that. You're distant, you're detached. You're not giving any of yourself, and you're not receiving a damn thing in that moment. Because what? You're disconnected. You're disconnected from here. You're disconnected from this. You don't feel your body. You don't feel your heart. You're stuck up here in headland. Your turn-ons only in headland and only in fantasy land. It's a proven fact that when we watch a lot of porn, that it actually changes our minds, it changes our brains, and it makes it hard for us to connect to physical beings. Because wherever you are looking at the point of climax is what you attach to. So it's really, really important that if you want to remain present, want to remain connected, that you have more attachment going on with a human body where you can keep your sensitivity high, your connection high, than attaching to that little screen on your phone or the TV or your laptop. Or closing your eyes and painting a vision in your head and only being able to connect to that vision in your head and wiping away the actual breathing, living human being that is there with you. Intimacy. Are you being intimate with technology? Or are you being intimate with yourself and with somebody else, with another person? Over and over again, and definitely the last couple of days is like this, running conversations and just not, I can't fathom it, but this disconnect in relationship conversation that has been going around to the point that, people coming together, uniting, experiencing life together, and then really truly being disconnected even in that moment. It's like, what are we doing? We come together, we like move in together, we get married, we have kids, but are we really truly there? And are we? I think back to my recent distant last relationship prior to the one that I'm currently in. And I spent years, a 7-year relationship. I spent years on the front side really truly believing that this man was with me, that he was connected to me, because he was really good on the front side, connecting and interacting and being playful and being present. And we had so much ease, so much comfort, so much play, connection, trust. And then something happened. And all of a sudden, he wasn't there anymore. He was physically there, but he wasn't there anymore. There was no intimacy. There was no vulnerability. The trust just went downhill. It went completely downhill, because the further away the connection went, the further away the presence went. There was no ability to trust anymore, because guess what? Trust comes from being able to feel somebody else's presence with you, to be able to feel like they're actually really there in the room with you. Like they actually give a rat's rear end about what you're going through, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're emotionalizing. Life, especially when you are connected at that level, which, for the most part, we go, oh, if we're really close in a relationship, then we should want to know about the other person's world. We should want to connect with them, experience them in highs and lows, be able to experience them in all different levels, and to be able to hold ourselves when our partner is going through something, to not detach and completely separate. But our society today has taught that it is better to separate ourselves in all these different ways. It's better that, oh, my partner just suffered a miscarriage. I'm going to sit over here and stare at my phone. I'm going to play a game. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, honey, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. As I'm gaming, as I'm listening to music, as I'm staring at a screen. Partner just got into a nasty fight at work, really stressed out about job, about finances, about value, about worth, about what's this going to mean if anything happens at the workplace, to our house, to our family. And a lot of times, a lot of people choose, oh, well, I'm going to go and take this time to clear out my email, to do this, to do that. This disconnect that we have in relating today, where our phones, where our computers, our emails, like bleep, we're on a romantic date. We're out with this person. They turn us on. They excite us. We want to go deeper. We want to get in bed with them. We want to have sex with them. But then our phone goes bleep. You have mail. And we go, really? Really? Time to check the email when you're out there on a date? Romantic? No. This is not it. Put the fucking phone away. Put it away at the dinner table. Put it away when you're snuggling on the couch. Put it away when you're on the date. Put it away when you're having sex. Unless you're making your own little video, which doesn't need to happen every single time and should not become an addictive thing. And the real true sadness of this is that in all that disconnect, in all that connection to phone, to computer, to technology that's making the world oh so better. And I love technology. I do love technology. But what we've done is we have learned how to say no to self. We've learned how to say no to our partners, to our children, to our passions. We have created the biggest monster with inside ourselves because we choose to make technology our priority over and over and over again. And with that, we choose to bring in more worry, more self-judgment, more shame, more criticism, more of all these different things. Because what? Now, right at our fingertips, at little notification bleeps, we get to get wrapped up in all this other stuff, these pictures that are being painted to us, so that we can judge ourselves, so that we can compare, so that we can compete consistently. And whether you say you do it or not, it doesn't much matter, because there's not one person on the planet that has a Facebook account, that has social media, that has some form of interaction on the web like that, where they're following. So if it's Pinterest or Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter or anything, you're following people and you are trying to connect this way. But you're following an illusion often. You're following little bleeps, little tidbits of other people's lives. And everybody does do this. We all compare what we see going on, good or bad, to what we are experiencing. And that comparison kills our ability to open up, to receive, to experience, to have intimacy. Because you know what? With that comparison, we kind of knock down vulnerability. And you have to be vulnerable to be able to have intimacy, to be able to really truly connect from a here space, your heart space, your soul space, to be able to just be, hey, here I am, this is who I am. And you can't do that when you're disconnected, when you're comparing, when you're judging, when you're living in shame and guilt, when you're questioning everything. And guess what? When we feel shame, when we feel guilt, when we feel self-judgment, when we're comparing, what else happens is we tend to just shut down our receiving capability, right? Because now we're going, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? Crap, I was just doing it last night. Just last night, right before dinner. I'm cooking dinner, and I was stalking a fellow coach that I look up to. And I was watching her stuff, and I went to her coaching page, and I went to her profile page, and I was trying to figure out what is she doing that, has really gotten her this level of success. That's that next level of success that I'm shooting for, right? So I'm like, I'm shooting for that. So let's go, and instead of trying to recreate a wheel, let's see what her wheel looks like. And I'm going to go and just piggyback a little bit, get some ideas. And I sat there and I started looking, I started comparing, and I started doing all of this different stuff. I started doing all this different stuff. And at the end of it, I felt gross. I was like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I comparing? Why am I competing? Because it put me into a spot of like, oh, well, maybe you're not good enough. Maybe you're not this. Maybe you're not that. Oh, but you're better here. Oh, but you're better there. My ego was working on all these different levels, from taking my feet out from underneath me to, like stabbing me in the back, to pumping me up and saying, oh, do you want to know? The reality is, I'm not her and she's not me. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman with a great coaching practice doing amazing things. And that's wonderful. And that's all that really matters. Every single person needs to focus more like that. That's great that you are doing that. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. How can I support you? I really like that. I'll share your article. I really like that. I'll share your video. I really like this. A little supportive comment. when we get into the backstabbing, when we get into the all of that, just remember that like when we are really pointing out and really doing these judgment, these critical things, there's one finger going out and how many going back? There's a lot of self-criticism, judgment, hatred, not accepting self, not loving self that's coming right back at us. It's just not saying yes to us. It's not saying yes to us. You want to say yes to you. You want to really, truly manifest and create that beautiful life. And you got to start saying yes to yourself. But you've got to be intimate with the self. You've got to love self. You got to open up. You got to be vulnerable. And if you want really great sex, guess what? You got to open up. You got to be vulnerable. You've got to love yourself enough to open up to it. Otherwise, you're just going to have numbed out, friction-based sex. It's not anything. Washing the dishes is more pleasurable in those instances. Intimacy, it's not going to be intimacy there either if you don't truly open up, be vulnerable, and connect. So I'm leaving. Bye, babe. Love you. He's off to school. So, on that note, that kind of tells me what time it is too. Yeah, so that was what my thought was. It all relates. You know, a lot of people look at my coaching and they think that I'm a sex coach and that I'm going to give them tips and tricks on better sex and, you know, the best position and some tantric skills that's going to help them levitate during orgasm or something like that. Yeah. I'm not a Himalayan monk, people, okay? I think that stuff is amazing and all that good stuff. But I'm not a Himalayan monk. So I don't know about levitation and defying the laws of the universe in that capacity. But I can tell you that if you want good sex, if you want good intimacy, you have to start saying yes to yourself. And good sex and intimacy comes from all areas of your life. As a sex and relation coach of the last 10, 12 years and really stepping into that and moving more into abundance and helping mompreneurs and, you know, helping entrepreneurs in general, then, you know, what really needs to take place there is that you've got to say yes. You've got to say yes to self. And that often means saying no to others, because what we do is we say yes in all these different areas. How many times do you say yes to sex when you really don't feel like it? How many times do you say yes to sex and then you feel horrible afterwards? You feel used, or you feel, and I'm talking to the ladies here, and like I always say, May is ladies month in my world big time, because I've got so many workshops that's really focused on women, on us, okay? So from being a mompreneur to our sex, to manifesting a conscious lover into our life. Well, all of that requires us to open up to ourselves. It all requires us to be connected to ourselves, to be vulnerable, to want to accept and love self. And if it doesn't matter what sex you are, male or female, if you want a phenomenal life, if you want all the bliss, the joy, the abundance, then you've got to get good with you first and figure out what saying yes to you actually means, and really check yourself every time this judgment stuff comes up where you're kind of going, bam, I want to hit this person, or bam, I want to hit that person. What's really going on inside you to make you want to sting somebody else, to make you want to hurt somebody else at that level? No, really, truly. So, yeah, just think about that. Think about that right now. My phone's buzzing all my events. There you go. What's going on for today? So, announcements. Announcements for today. Not really a whole lot, actually. Anybody who's in Primal Reboot, guys, I'm teaching week number 4. Primal Reboot is still available on my website. So, there's my little bleep for you men out there. Primal Reboot is available on my website. It is still running. I'm doing actually my last training this week and then a Q&A. It has been an intensive 4 weeks. Can't wait to hear all the good stuff that comes out from all the gentlemen that are in that workshop. But some of the stuff that is coming up is we have local people. We have oral intimacies, discovering more passion and play workshop coming up soon, and that's going to be in June. I'm just kind of giving an announcement real quick on that there, because that class is going to be for men and for women. That is for local people. You can go to my events calendar. I believe the link is in the comments section as well. That's going to be the next really big workshop here in the Dallas area. And what is oral intimacy about? Well, oral intimacy is not just about the physical act of oral sex, okay? We're going to dive deep into this and give the true skills needed to give the connection and the pleasure to our partners. And we're touching on both male and female pleasure here. So go explore that if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or if you can get your butt here to experience it. Then, of course, I taught, it was actually a different class, but I've had people come from like LA and New York to these classes and everything. It amazes me how people will fly out for like a 3-hour class. But next up, Addison Bell and I are teaching in just about a week and a half, 2 weeks from now. We are teaching Tantra 201 Spring Awakening. So this is, as everybody should know at this point who follows me, my foundation is Tantra. So everything is tantric based. And then I also have a Christian flair to it. So it's kind of like melding the two together. How do I do it? Well, just follow me and you'll learn about it. But Tantra 201 Spring Awakening is another Dallas-Fort Worth area taught class for all you local people catching this. If you want to experience a level 2 class, but it's still a great class that you can come in on. You don't have to have done the 101 class that we did back in January. You can still come. We're teaching the basics of Tantra, true Tantra here. So it is a PG-13 class. It is no nudity, no orgies. It's not focused on sex. It is focused on true tantric connection and intimacy work, presence work. So it starts with self and then how we relate out to others. It's a very, very powerful class. This is our 2nd year running on that class. And then what I also have is Manifest Your Man, which is my online workshop for all the single ladies or ladies who are wanting to manifest a conscious lover. And you know what? Even if you're not single and you just want to improve your relationship, this is going to help, because it really is about doing the self work, the mindset work, the emotional work, the spiritual work, about setting the tone for having a conscious lover. And it is amazing, whether we are in relationship or not, the impact that we can have from just our individual space with other people. So if you're a woman and you want to really develop conscious relationships with a lover or with lovers, or you want to really learn how to connect, how to draw in that conscious lover, and notice I'm talking conscious lover here, okay? And for all you guys who think that you're conscious, yeah, some of you are, some of you think you are, big difference. Not going there yet. But if you really want to draw in a conscious lover into your life, then this is the class for you, because I'm going to be going through 10 hacks as to get you to manifest this conscious lover into your life. So it's going to really give you some good nitty-gritty details, exercises, and exploration, so that you can quickly draw in that person that you really have been wanting for some time. So look in the links in the comments for the links to all of this. Let me see. Anything else? I think that pretty much covers it for the most part. That covers it. Yeah. So, sex, intimacy, saying yes. Keep the focus on the saying yes part, the vulnerability part, the presence part. And just kind of pay attention to where you drop the ball on that presence level and on that connection. And if you just choose one little thing to change, just one little habit to change that might be a negative, that's, a roadblock to that connection, to that intimacy, to that vulnerability, to sharing your true heart or feeling your true heart, just change one little thing and it can completely ripple out and change every other area of your life. Because if you think that your sex or your intimacy or any piece of your life is just sitting over here solo and not impacting any other area of your life, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Every part of your life influences every other part of your life. We are intricately woven together inside ourselves, and if we're not doing good in one area, if we're not connected in one area, it may not yet be showing up over here, but it soon will. So make sure that you really get clear, conscious awareness around where you're disconnecting and how you can connect better. If you want more information on coaching, if you want to learn more about how you can really develop those skills, hone in the skills for presence, for consciousness, for manifestation, for a better relating, better sexing, well, that's what I'm here for. That's what my one-on-one work is about. Feel free to message me on that. I'll send over details. I have an application for everybody to fill out on that. And guess what? Till May 22nd, all my consults are free. So I went crazy at the front end of this month. Actually, it was the back end of last month. I went absolutely crazy, decided to give away free consults until May 22nd. So there you go. This is the opportunity for you to take the time to stop saying no to yourself. Say yes, explore some coaching if you would like to expand your understanding, go deeper into the mindset, the programs, the shifts that you might want to make, and message me about coaching today. Okay, everybody. With that note, I shall see you tomorrow with another conscious coffee or something. Probably later in the day tomorrow. But yeah, you can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com. If I said anything in this video that was helpful, or you thought of somebody who might need to hear it, hit the little share button. Please, please, please. Sharing is, as my kids say, sharing is caring. So yeah, hit the little share button. Help me share Conscious Coffee. Help me share my message out there. I appreciate all of you who do that. Again, follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com or on here. And remember, stop existing, start living. I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. Bye, everybody.